Guys, launched in 2018. He's now working with 200 e-commerce brands, processing and helping them get support questions answered faster. He ended last year with at a $2 million run rate. That's an average ACV of 10 grand a year, hoping to double this year to 4 million. He raised a 2 million pre-seed round back in 2020 at a 20 million post from Sequoia, now raising a 5 million seed at called a 30 or 35 million pre, both from customers and two additional potential traditional VCs. Again, building rich panel to get rid of these horrible support experiences you and I know and are checking out with most e-commerce brands. Hey, folks, my guest today is Amit RG. He's a CEO and co-founder at richpanel.com. Under his leadership, the company has grown to over 2,000 brands in 3 years. He leads everything product and engineering at the company and is obsessed with their motto, the best service is no service. Amit, you ready to take us to the top?
I am.
What does that mean? The best service is no service.
My funda is simple when I started the company. If you look at any business, you look at their customer service. Customers usually contacting about the same 7 to 8 types of issues. But businesses are still using agents to handle these issues. And if you contrast it with, which is stupid, and if you contrast that with what happens in Amazon, where I've bought like 50 items this year, maybe more, and I've never contacted them once. The difference is that Amazon is productizing each of these contact reasons. If I want to like return an order, cancel an order, edit anything in my order, I can do that within Amazon. I can manage my subscriptions. They now have situations where if somebody forgets a coupon code, they have a flow for it, right? So that's the kind of interfaces that we build for other companies. And then, you basically eliminate all the contacts and customers are able to like self-resolve, business are able to scale. It's a win-win.
That's awesome. Now, when you came on the show back in July of 2020, you told me you had 70 customers and you're doing about $90,000 a month in revenue. So you just passed $1 million run rate, I think. Give us an update on the business. Where are you at today?
We crossed $2 million in December of 2020, and we are on path to take this year to like 4.5 million.
So sorry, last year, what did you finish at? You finished at a 2 million,
2 million.
Run rate?
Yes. A little about 2 million, yes.
Oh, that's great. And how many customers?
200 paying customers with an ACV of around 10,000.
Wow. Okay. So 200. Okay. That makes tons of sense. Walk me through what a customer is paying you for. And if you can, you use a real customer.
As of today, a customer would pay us for self-service resolutions, approximately like $1 per resolve. And they pay us for ticket because we have both the modules. We have the agent help desk for which you pay by tickets. And we have the self-service where you pay by self-service resolves, where an agent wasn't needed. So if it's a ticket, you pay approximately 20 cents per ticket. If it's a self-resolve, you pay like $1. So we both have vested interest to do more self-service resolves.
And I think when we last spoke, you said you were looking at raising a $2 million round, but you weren't sure if you were going to close it or not. You've been bootstrapped previously. What did you end up deciding to do?
I did raise $2 million from Sequoia at a $20 million valuation. I did that in 2020. We also got selected in Y Combinator, but we decided to not go ahead with it. Because this thing happened like 1 week before YC. YC was all remote. I'm a big YC fan, but it didn't make sense, to dilute so much when we were already getting.
They wanted what 7% for 125K.
Yeah, so they give you a standard valuation of like 2.1 post, and the disadvantage to that, Nathan, mainly is it was remote, so you don't build a network, right? When you go into a thing like YC, the major takeaway or the major benefit is the network and the kind of people you meet. Yeah. That doesn't happen over Zoom calls and like those Zoom sessions where 100 people are coming together.
Yep. Now, obviously, Sequoia put money in just at the same time at a 20 million valuation. YC wants a 2 million valuation. I mean, ultimately, did you want to do YC, but Sequoia blocked it because it's a massive haircut on the valuation?
Not really. I think Sequoia was very open about it. Lots of other people in the same cohort, like being funded at the same time, my friends did decide to do with YC. Sequoia had no problem. I think they were like very cool as investors, very open-minded. If you have a reason to do it, they never block. I just spoke with a few of my existing customers where, they wanted in at the previous valuation because I'm doing like my next round, but they wanted in at the previous valuation. And the reason is because these people are like extremely influential. They're people like you that can like promote the shit out of Rich Panel. So they were like, we are your customers for the last 2 years. Give us in, and we want to like, work very closely with you, because each time we do a catch up, for a 1 hour catch up over like a review call, we're like 45 minutes just discussing personal life, right? We're just helping each other grow and like whatever. Both the founders both have like similar problems and like similar shit that we go through. So 45 minutes is that, and they're like, we want to invest in each other's success. And they did this, and I went to Sequoia, and they're like, yeah, absolutely cool. It makes complete sense to have these people as
Great.
your.
Oh, what's going on there, YouTube? Good to see you guys. Now imagine this. You love watching these interviews with SaaS founders, but imagine if we took all of the valuation data out from over 2,807 interviews I've done manually. Saves you a lot of time. Well, we've done this. We've built it into the beautiful interface inside of FounderPath. Check this out. I'll show you how you can access this in a second, but you log in, you connect your Stripe account, you see your valuation real time, you can see what it changed over the past 88 days, and even set goals for valuation this year. Now, the secret to valuation is there's many different ways to value a SaaS business. So the reason you're going to see 3 or 4 different valuations inside of your FounderPath dashboard, this is all free by the way, is because depending on who's doing the buying of your SaaS company, you're going to get a different valuation. A VC is going to pay a different valuation. Private equity firm is different. If you're going to do a minority sale, that's different. And if you sell the whole business, that's a different valuation. You can see all those when I hover over here. Right, so the teal is what a VC would pay, yellow is what private equity, and red is if you sold the whole thing outright. Now, what's cool about this is not built off random data. Again, you guys hear these interviews on YouTube. All these data are built from real-time valuation data points founders share with us on the show. So traction, 1.2 million, seed round, 3.7 raise, they sold 22% of their business. Go in here and filter by the event. Maybe you only want to see companies that have sold the whole business. Well, here are a bunch that have been acquired, the valuation and the multiple. Maybe you're going out right now and you're raising your seed round. Well, go in here and look at all this recent seed deals that went down, what they raised, what valuation they raised at, and what percent that they sold. There's never been a larger data set of SaaS valuations than what you can get now inside of FounderPath, and we're thrilled to bring it to you. All right, we're going to go back to the YouTube video here in a second, but if you want to check this tool out, if you want to jump in and sign up, you can check it out for free to get your valuation at this link, founderpath.com/products/valuations. Or if you go to founderpath.com and hover over products, click on get your valuation here and go ahead and sign up to give it a whirl. Again, all that valuation data live right inside the platform. I hope to see you there. All right, let's jump back into the interview. How much are you raising right now?
So I'm doing a $3.5 million round. Actually, $5 million round with with an extension, seed extension, and I'm doing like a 500K round for with the angels. But I started off like with like 3.5, but just after my 2 calls that I did with VCs, they were like, you need to take at least 5. Your business is at a decent scale, so we want to take you 5, and then you can do your Series A. They understood why I'm raising like a small round. They respect it, and they're like, if you want speed, we get it, but we want minimum that much ownership in the company. So we were like, okay.
Yep. And well, what is the minimum ownership they want?
So, they're looking at like, whatever if we do, like if we close our dividend at 30, 35 at current stage, then they're like, we want like substantial percent. It's not about the ownership. There are few firms that are not willing to write check sizes below that, if that makes sense.
No, it makes total sense. I mean, these folks in seed rounds, they want 15 to 20% of the company. So even if you don't need that much money, they still want to figure out how to get to 15 to 20%. So hearing your math, it's a $5 million check into a $35 million post-money valuation.
That 30, would get it could be 30 as well. Yeah, it could be 30.
30 pre-money, 35 post. It gets them 15, 20% of the company. That's what they want.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, why not just push back and say, guys, listen, either you're giving me less money because I don't want to get this diluted, or you're not getting in the company.
I don't do that. I'm actually never been the guy that will, over-index on valuation. I over-index on the partner. I just did a call with one of the partners, and I made my Sequoia partner write to him saying that if you need reference on Amit, then, he's a stand-up dude. Just, call me for anything. And that VC replied back to my partner at Sequoia that this guy came so prepared that it was mind-blowing. I was mind blown. So what I do is like, I try to watch the partner. Like I would spend a few hours watching their videos, and I don't even ask for like 15 introductions. I'm like, I'm going to go after these 3 or 4, and I'm going to like, I'm going to aim to shoot it. Like I'm going to aim to like bring it home, because I think that's the right way. You're going to work with this man or woman for the next 10 to 15 years. Very, very important that you choose the right person to work with. So that's what I'm doing with my angels as well. People that I love, people that want the best in you and are like will challenge you. You can brainstorm with them. And they also understand like the macroeconomics. but they can like go down to the ground level and also brainstorm when you're, stuck with something. Those are like the ideal partners I want.
Yep. Fair enough. Fair enough. Take me back a little bit here to the ACV conversation. So when we spoke last, you had 70 customers paying $1,500 a month. Now you've got way more customers, 200, but they're paying half as much per month. So are you moving down market?
Yes. Because what happened is we did an analysis. Even today, by the way, Jason, I just gave Nathan, my bad. Even today, we are going to reduce our pricing even further. So when I'm saying that we're going to cross 4 million, the number of customers is going to like probably triple or quadruple, because we're 3x more expensive than the competition. And we as sales team were making a mistake because we're so confident of the product and the value it delivers. We're making it too expensive to sign up with. They get value later on, but there are so many people that just shy away or don't try the product just because of that high price tag. So I want to change that model. I want to get them in at a lower price, then invest in CSM, then invest in delivering value, and then getting them on like higher tiers or like more services. I think that's the right way. So I want to
how do you get like,
of entry.
How do you get your first customer paying you $100,000 a year? What do you probably have to provide for them?
When you say that, what did I do to get 100,000 or what?
Well, what is it? Well, don't name the customer, but what does your largest customer pay you today?
I think I have around that price, 100,000. I have like 3-4 customers that pay 100,000, and they've all closed like in the last quarter. I've started to go after them, and it just makes sense. The only thing stopping us was not knocking on the right door.
But I mean, also, just to be clear, the reason they're paying that much is because they're processing so many. It's based off number of transactions per month, right?
Yes. It's number of transactions per month and number of self-resolves per month. Yeah, number of self-resolves per month.
So how many self-resolving like support tickets are you resolving for someone paying you $100,000 a year?
So it roughly boils to like 50,000. So if you take like 100,000, it's like 8,000 per month is what they're paying, and I will have to do like 15,000 resolves for them to justify that. But it won't be 15,000. It would be more like I'm doing like 10,000 resolves for them, and they also are paying me additional $5,000 for. Oh, sorry. They're also paying me like a portion of that for agent help desk. But yeah, that's that.
Yep. This makes tons of sense. So the question I was asking you, I'll just make it a bigger number now. How do you just think product wise for a second, what these customers want? What do you have to give them where you think they won't even blink at paying you $1 million a year?
Go to a bigger customer. That's it.
Well, what if you can't? What if you have to take some of the current customers paying $100,000 a month and you have to give them so much value that you are able to upsell them to $1 million? What other things would you sell them?
I cannot because so many of my customers today are at a GMV of 10 million or like 50 million. E-commerce guys, the margins are notoriously low. If a man that's making like 50 million a year doing e-commerce, maybe he's netting like 2 million, 3 million. I can't ask him to give me $1 million. That would be stupid. So my value to him is limited. So the way that I can ask $1 million is to go after a person or go after a company that's doing 500 million GMV, $1 billion in GMV, and that's what I'm doing.
So you never, if 500 million is your target, you're basically saying you never want to be more than 0.2% of their annual expenses.
I've never done that kind of a math. I'm just saying like, if you have to do that kind of a math, I'll tell you like the order to ticket ratio, right? So depending if you're like let's do the math. If you're like $1 billion company, you're doing like 800 or 80 million a month, you're going to do 40 million tickets a month with a 50% ratio, or by that stage you'll be like too efficient, so you'll be doing like 15 million tickets a month, right? And with 15 million tickets, if I charge you like 10 cents, that will be like 150,000 for that month, and then on an annual basis you'll pay me like 1.8 million.
But how many brands are there that do that? How many brands are there that do $1 billion in GMV annually?
I can actually forget 10 cents. I can even ask for like 50 cents, right? So if I do 50 cents, then I'll make like 5 million of that brand, right? Mm-hmm. And by that same token, if I go after like $100 million brand or a $200 million brand, then they will be able to pay me like $1 million.
Yeah, but I mean, how many of those are there? How many 100 million brands are there?
I didn't do that math, but I can tell you that there are 50,000 stores that do more than $1 million. Right. So my
on Amazon or where? Stores where?
Everywhere, like e-commerce stores that are doing like more than $1 million is 50,000 in the world. Right.
Interesting. What's your source on that? How did you get that number?
So Pipe Candy is one source. Pipe Candy. Then Built With, I did Alexa ranking, and then what else? Shopify Plus are like 15,000 stores, so that's like a straightforward math. But I think I got the number from Pipe Candy. We can look at
Interesting. How much is Shopify? All the 15,000 Shopify stores. How much do they process by themselves each month?
Which 50, the 50,001 are the ones that are 15,000 Shopify are Shopify Plus. They pay Shopify Plus $24,000. So they must be doing at least a couple of $1 million to justify the 25K fee, 24K
I
fee
see.
Shopify. So they are
Interesting.
directly in my target market. Then there is WooCommerce, then there is Magento. And that's just the e-commerce as a vertical. I'm just starting with e-commerce. I just took that as an opportunity because 2020 was the year of COVID. We knew that this is the vertical we have to start with. But in quarter four, we are going to launch in other verticals this quarter
How
four.
close are you? I mean, everything you're talking about is about support. How close are you to the actual transaction, the actual dollars getting paid?
On my platform,
Yeah.
why would I do that?
I'm asking, are you close to the actual dollars being transacted?
No. I mean, the dollars get transacted in the sense like the agents, like there are things that you could do within the widget and check out. Like it can give you a recommendation.
Yeah, I mean, you have an example on your website. A customer says, I'm looking for a pair of running shoes under 300. Your bot responds, how about these? And there's a buy now button under 2 options. If they buy one of those and it's
They go into the
$300,
Shopify checkout or the Magento checkout. I'm not processing it. And by the way, Shopify and others are getting very strict about who's processing this payment because they want to control it. Yeah, they want to control it. They want their cut, right? So that's what their business is. So I'm not.
Is the world where you use the support product as a wedge to eventually get into your own payment processing?
No. I wouldn't do that. See, my vision is very simple. I don't even look at Zendesk, Freshdesk, all of these as competitors. Our real competitor is the $80 billion BPO market. That has to stop existing. I mean, it's never a pleasure calling like an airline, being on hold for 30 minutes and still not getting a resolution. Do you think the CEO of United, the CEO of Southwest doesn't want to help you? Of course, they want to help you, but the technology is so limited. They need to do what Uber has done. They need to do what Amazon has done. They need to get to a stage where their product handles 95% of the issues and only 5% come to them. When the issue is only 5%, then these people will not be somewhere in India or Philippines. They will be right here in the headquarters. These agents will have the permission, authority, and the know-how to actually resolve the question then and there. Right?
Yep.
This is back in like.
It's a great vision. Listen, I'm on board. I love it. I guess give me more of the team information today. How many folks are full time?
32 people.
32 people.
32. Okay. Yeah, I should know that number, but 31 or 32. Yeah.
And how many are engineers?
15, 16.
16. Interesting. And do you have an inside sales team at this price point, or it's too cheap?
No, it is. We do have like 2 salespeople, only two account execs that bring in like all the revenue. They
What's
each
their
bring
quota?
Like around 50,000 per month of ARR is what they have to.
15 or 50?
50.
50,000 of new ARR per month, so 600,000 of ARR per year.
Yes, actually, it's a little more than that. Maybe it's 6,000 MRR. So one AE would do 600. One is doing like 780, but that's what they have to bring in. Yes.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. Very interesting. Well, listen, we're out of time here. I love the growth. Let's wrap up here with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite book?
I'm liking 12 Rules of Life. I just started it today.
12 Rules of Life?
12 Rules of Life by Jordan Peterson.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
I love Elon Musk. I aspire to be like him. So yeah.
Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
Off late, I've been getting 3 or 4 hours, but I feel very refreshed. It's willingly I'm working myself. Yeah.
All right. I skipped number 3. What's your favorite online tool for building Rich Panel?
Oh my God. Notion. I'm a big Notion fan. Yeah.
And then what's your situation? Married, single, kids?
Married to Rich Panel. Rich Panel is the baby, and that's all.
And how old are you?
I am 33. 34. Sorry, 34. I became 34 in December.
Happy late birthday. Last question. Something you wish you knew when you were 20.
Something. That's a tough one. So many things. Take more risks. Make better friends and be more unapologetic.
Guys, launched in 2018. He's now working with 200 e-commerce brands, processing and helping them get support questions answered faster. He ended last year with at a $2 million run rate. That's an average ACV of 10 grand a year, hoping to double this year to 4 million. He raised a 2 million pre-seed round back in 2020 at a 20 million post from Sequoia, now raising a 5 million seed at called a 30 or 35 million pre, both from customers and 2 additional potential traditional VCs. Again, building Rich Panel to get rid of these horrible support experiences you and I know and are checking out with most e-commerce brands. Amit, thanks for taking us to the top.
Ethan, one last thing before I leave you. It's 2020 is when we started Rich Panel. That was a previous company. We need to update that.
Now, are you just cheating when you say that because you want your growth to look more impressive over a compressed period of time, or was 2018 really the start date, but you pivoted in 2020?
No, I can show you when the Rich Panel Inc. was incorporated. The first customer came in like March 2020.
When did you write your first line of code for Rich Panel?
December of 2019.
Okay, founded December of 2019. There we go.
Come on, Nathan. It's March 2020. And that's what your website is being referred by a lot of investors. I'm telling you, there's a company called Jet Commerce where I used to do like $1 million. I reached $1 million in ARR, but it was mainly custom services. That I did 2018 to 19. And I completely shut that down. It's also the thing that funded my Rich Panel initiative. But Rich Panel first customer came in March 2020.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Gave me $200 a month. I remember the customer. He's still friends with me. And
all right. Yeah. I love that. We'll give you late 2019, early 2020, first customer in March. I'll get that updated for you. But Amit, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thank you, Nathan. Pleasure.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.